My grade school friend ran away and they never found her. I regret it every day. My friend ran away from home and ended up shacking up with a guy who pimped her out. She called me and told me where she was, but I never told anybody. They never found her, and 14 years later there is no record of her anywhere on the internet. Carol was always the strange girl. She had some kind of muscle tremor disorder and shook all the time. People picked on her and made fun of her. I was an oddball too, so we were friends though strained at times. Both of us struggled to not be the most hated and most teased girl in our class, so our friendship was based on mutual understanding of how much school life sucked. The summer of 7th grade we hung out a lot and became decent friends. We trusted each other and talked on the phone all the time. She told me that her uncle had been touching her since she was 4 or 5, don't remember exactly but young, and that her mom knew but either couldn't or wouldn't do anything about it. That was a shock to me, but I was 13 and had no clue WTF I could do about it if her mom and grandma knew and couldn't help her. Anyhow, we kept hanging out that summer, but before the next school year she moved. We still talked on the phone all the time though. She had the same problems at her new school. Everybody picked on her and thought she was weird. She ran away from home for a couple of weeks and the police found her and brought her back. She ran away 2 more times that I knew of, and for whatever reason, likely me getting caught up in my own school drama, we stopped calling each other. I never thought to think why. One day, bored and not having anybody else to call, I called her and her mom grilled me about where she was, what I knew about some guy she was dating. I knew nothing of any of this and ended up hanging up on her because she was freaking out so bad. It was weird, but I didn't really understand what was going on. About a month later Carol called me from a pay phone, or at least she said it was a pay phone. She told me that she was staying with a guy in the general area they were staying and that she was having intimacy with lots of people. I didn't believe her. I thought she was just trying to make it sound like she was finally being accepted by a group of people and was rubbing it in that I still wasn't. Then a few weeks later she called me again and said that she was now having intimacy with people for money and that some of them were old enough to be her dad. At this point I was just kind of annoyed with her stories and told her she needed to call her mom and go back home, and hung up on her. I switched schools and made a bunch of friends and totally forgot about Carol. Then maybe 6 months later or so her mom called me crying asking if I knew where Carol was and if I could help her find her. I told her she had called me a long time ago but that I didn't know where she was. To my knowledge today, they never found her. Knowing what I know now, 14 years later, about the world and how ducked up it can be, I feel like I should have done something more to help her mom find her. I should have called her mom after the first time Carol called from the payphone and let her know where she said she was staying. Maybe they could have found her. Sometimes I still Google her name, search for her in the directory of missing and exploited children. I've never found anything on her. No missing persons report, no death certificate, no high school crap from classmates or Facebook. She just disappeared. One of my Facebook friends is a cop in the city she went missing in, and sometimes I think of asking her to check into it to see if she can find any record of anything on this girl, but I think that might be a bit creepy. In the meantime, I go about my life knowing that my friend is probably dead and I did nothing to stop that.